players out with the flash, that Astra Star could be dangerous as they push on forward, but G2 seem to have bypassed it for a moment. That nade does slow them down, though.
It's delayed them, and actually there's been some very aggressive positioning already been taken by Trollo as well. Are they going to check this corner? Even if he only gets one kill here, it's not necessarily the worst. They don't even look at him. Top, but he whiffs! Nuke's going to get himself a freebie. That is a travesty, and well, they may have got an early warning system, and the rotation is going to come in from Shalabi, but if they can clear him out, they may have an easy round.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice third kill for Nukia coming in there, but Tuna into the teleporter for a double. Frost might be able to get something done on the side here and be the saving grace of the team. He's actually gone undetected on the box, but Avova swings around to check it. They know exactly where Tuna is, and G2 will take the first round. The pistol going their way. I'll be converted.
Well, they're all going TP, so they're giving away their positions. Kellogg's also lurking in behind. Very happy to see him back on the sky. That was one of the changes we saw G2 make at Masters that I think turned them from... I think they actually lost to F4Q, and then in the second game when they changed things, they won, I think it was 13-3. So they made some massive changes on their composition, and it also puts Mixwell back on Viper, which I know will get you very excited as well.
Of course it will, especially on a map like Bind. We've just seen so much from Mix. The rotates have come in. Anubis of 4 players on this side as G2 look to push on out. This is going to be a tough one. Nukia creating the space. He's up close, already able to take one. A second for Nukia. He spins on a dime for third. How have G2 gotten away with this? They've got the sight, and now, once again, Frost is looking to make that retake happen. 1 versus 3. Sure, they're all on low health, but they've got the numbers advantages in this one. Oh, you nasty man. He's tagged him up through the smoke as well. What a round out of Nukia, man. Give him a Spectre against a full buy podcast. But when it comes to Anubis, having Shalabi playing a duelist and IGLing, that's actually huge because he'll still deliver versus the majority of teams, but versus G2, it is a very, very tough task. And in this buy round, obviously we had a little bit of a tech pause. That one has gone by. Anubis now stalling out, waiting for something to happen, and they've already given him quite a lot of control on this A side.
Mixwell, we always talk about his ability to lurk through sights, but he still finds quite a lot of openers for the squad. And for Krollo here, I'm not really sure he's going to be able to get much done trying to swing onto the spike. A bit of a risky play considering no real teammates nearby to help him. The remainder being locked out. These deep smokes that G2 have been putting in just allow these close positions to be held. They've been dominating this site. The fact that they have defensive spawn control as the remainder of the players still try to rotate, I was going to say should make this round very easy for them, but it's actually pretty close.
Yeah, but that's where they use their Viper essentially as the primary smoker, and then they plug up any holes or get extra aggression off of the Astra, plus then use her more directly aggressive abilities for things like this, locking them out. Look at that star that goes down. That's not really going to allow anybody on Anubis to come up through middle and try to get that space. So instead, they just run away. They're legging it towards the B side to save these weapons through for the next round, and that will be 5-0 for G2. Sure, they lose 2 players in the end. Oh, they're even hunting them down. Look, Mixwell's so close.
Why not?
To catching them.
It's looking at least a little bit more passive.
Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. The Viper ult coming out of bathroom, great space control. And this puts Anubis in a really tough position to try and hold on. Actually, Krollo gets dropped immediately. That's Lamb's control out of their hands. They're going to rotate Shalabi in to try and fight for it. And he's good for a nade kill onto Coldamenza, but a bit more needed and delivered again and again. Shalabi surprises us, still holding down that Lamb's control. G2 hunting him, looking to really push into him, completely avoiding the Viper ult. Mixwell goes on to Juna, but Shalabi still holding strong. This man is keeping the round alive until Avova steps in and says that's enough. Another round for G2.
Yeah, Mixwell actually managed to get past them in the spawn. Like, as they were jumping through his poison orb, he was just like, well, I'm just going to sneak through here. And
while his ult is still online on the side, he didn't use that ult to try and get a plant or
so
like passive. He just used it to get out of bathroom and then start pushing them.
I'll never get bored of watching him over using a Phantom.
True.
It's something that he's just so incredibly good with. Again, a closer round, but we're still almost just looking at this being the Shalabi show for Anubis. Like, can he win them the round? No? Oh, that's a shame.
True, yeah.
And now again, back to pistols, back to a very, very aggressive stance. Straight down middle. They've got a hell of a lot of information that there's nobody pushing in towards this A site. In fact, they may even catch mixwell on the fadeaway. The thing is, even if he dies here, this... Oh, I was going to say this gives them a lot of space, but the fact that he takes 2 with them, the rest of the team can get the plant down on B. There's absolutely no one here, and they have to try and get this kill onto Commentators cleanly.
Yeah, I guess that blinded Commentators. They seem to be aware that he was behind the box, or at least they heard the steps at a very minimum. G2 in a 3 versus 3 versus these pistols. This is not how you want the round to be unfolding. Anubis really putting up a fight at the moment. 2 players spotted in hookah. They're only worried about spawn, and Krolo's dead. All the info to play with here for G2, but keloqz was trapped and taken down. The rifle in the hands of Avez, diving to sight, late flanked by Nukia. Gonna try to buy a little bit of time, but now they start to panic. There's the pull going in, the gravitational well, guaranteeing they're not defusing. Avova picks up Frost, and then the flank from Nukia closes the round. Really well handled, really well played, and 7-1 we go. And that's where I didn't even spot that the star was there beside the spike. I'm thinking, oh, their positions are really bad because that spike can be diffused. And then gravitational well, you're like, hey, I guarantee I've just bought you another 5 seconds that they're not diffusing, and then Nuki doesn't need to rush it in.
Yeah, I think in Avova we trust is something.
Absolutely, yeah.
He is definitely, like, it was in the interview with Mixwell where he was basically saying, like, I still think Avova is underrated, which to an extent I agree, to an extent I don't. Like, I think
we highly rate him.
We highly rate him, but I do think in comparison to some of the players on his team, I definitely think he's underrated because the amount he is able to do on controllers consistently is truly unbelievable. Well, listen, I think he's probably, even though Nuki's been phenomenal, he might be the best pickup for the team.
I'm with you on that one, except for obviously Goldamenta, my man. He makes it work. Tuna pressured again. This Lamb's control keeps going to G2. They're able to consistently grab it, but Frost is destroying them this time around. Nukia dealt with. Now we need another hero to step up for G2. We've already seen Mixwell do a lot of work, but he's not even able to get a foothold over Bathroom. They are double contesting it right now. But in the meanwhile, Avova is actually planting the spike, that cosmic divide, giving them all the space to plant it, and now they don't need to make a move. It's Anubis that have to try to retake ground.
The drone may at least give them a little bit of extra information. The timing here could be everything. We're going to see the Cosmic Divide, but this actually almost gives that extra space for keloqz to play with around it. The timing couldn't be worse, though.
It's halfway.
He's going to at least be able to hold on to the other side, and as you said, they managed to get the spike halfway, so it has to be a play through it now as they dive past. They're still confusing, but keloqz comes up with a double, and they close out the round in a split second. 8-1 in favor of G2. They are utterly dominating at this point.
I think Tuna blinked right as keloqz walked through that wall. It was they just missed each other's ships in the night, but they actually saw each other. Look at this. The flash is through, and he was blind, of course. That's such a good flash out of keloqz to allow him to get past like that.
The Cosmic Divide, isn't it? It's like, I've got Cosmic Divide down. Yep. Well, I have a flash.
Yeah, exactly. You're against the sky, buddy. That ain't going to be too easy. And obviously, Avez wasn't there to do the same for Anubis at the start of the previous. 8-1 at the moment. G2 are dominant here on Bind to start with. And you said before, Tom, that Anubis's defense doesn't necessarily inspire confidence. Well, let's hope their attack is going to be a lot better.
Yeah. Well, they did manage to turn it back.
Believe in it.
Yeah, versus their local opposition, they managed to turn it back. I am not so faithful in them being able to turn it back versus G2. I'd be quite disappointed in G2 if they did, but we'll have to wait and see. You know, they've got a pretty powerful entry duo. In this round again, this is the problem. They keep having these mixed buys. And although some of these rounds have been close, Mitch, they haven't been winning any of them. So it really hasn't affected G2 in any way, shape, or form.
Look at Shalabi, 20 HP. No way he really gets away with this. Of course he does, yeah. He's the Sheriff one-shot headshot, bro.
No fear.
No worries at all. But a big problem here, he saw Anubis set up another bait-and-switch play inside of hookah, but it's not... Whoa! Mixwell doesn't even need a gun. That's just...
Look how much control they have. I don't think I've ever seen a team take this much control. He was fighting their spawn with his utility and just like trying to aim diff. Like, they're still fighting the spawn.
Yeah, this is desolation. It looks like G2 are smurfing with some of these. Like the way that they're able to take so much control. Now, In this round here, though, there is a caveat we have to put down. As I said, they tried the bait and switch inside of hookah. They double stacked side as well as that. So there were 4 players on the B side of the map. G2 baited it out with Ray's utility, tried to rob them of any hookah control, and then just swapped to the A side. So, I mean, there wasn't really much that they could do. At that point, Shalabi was already 20 HP, solo holding A. And sure, he has his ulti, but when you're 20 health as a Raze, you do not pop that showstopper because you're just going to get shot out of the sky.
I do also want to bring up the fact that this was a big comp change for them. Like, Tuna in the last month has only been playing Sage, and he doesn't play this map. So I think they've taken a big risk going into Bind. And those 2 players are really struggling. Like, Krollo, who has switched over to Viper, I hate to bring it up, but he has 0 kills.
And it's the extra control that it gives them defensive side across the entire map. Obviously, starting here, that's going to be your primary focus. And I agree that comp change-wise, this is probably a good call.
It's a good, yeah, it's a good change.
And, like, nothing wrong with the previous comp, but I like this as well. Perfectly viable. The problem is they're up against G2, and it's just not going to be easy to defend against this team on this map in particular. Exactly as Ryan said on the desk, they have similar map pools, but G2 are far more proven versus far higher quality opponents. And that's just how it is.
Well, to say the least, they need to try and get themselves the last couple of rounds a bit of utility use to try and counter this Viper's pit, but there's still plenty of time left on the clock for G2 to play with. Commentators is going to clear the close angle. We're actually going to see the Seekers being thrown out. They really want to try and convert this round.
You know, they are hunting after these players right now. A lot of control already going their way with the Viper's Pit. Mixwell is just dominating. The fact that he has Viper's Pit online and he's hunting, that just shows the confidence, doesn't it? Showstopper right onto Coldamenta. What they don't know, Kellogg's has been tagged up by that 19 health remaining, but his position completely unknown. And as they push forward, well, maybe it's not completely unknown. They're checking it a lot. Seem to have some sort of idea that he's in that corner.
I respect it. Maybe they saw him, but... Or maybe they saw a piece of utility. It looks like they are going to be trying to hard clear it, I'd hope. But never mind, he still hits the shot. Kellogg's so low, and now it's up to Krollo. As I said, he hadn't got any kills up until this point. But he's found 3 in this round into the 1 versus Abova, who has been unstoppable so far, barely dying in any of these rounds. He has no idea. He's slowly sneaking up behind him. And Abova, he is the rock of this squad. He has been holding on to map control, and he will hold on to the clutch as well.
And the fact that it was Abova there was really the issue. Still had a star available. He can hit that gravitational well. You cannot force him into open combat by just tapping it, because he knows I can buy myself 5 to 6 extra seconds. And that's really I mean, I don't want to go too in depth about that round from G2, because there's a lot of ridiculously aggressive plays, particularly Mixwell, but the reality, and we've seen that from him before, but this is just sheer confidence. G2 right now know that they're the better team on the server.
Yeah, I think when you're winning, well, 9-1, or in this case 10-1 now, a lot of the time you're just going to try and bully your opponent.
Sure, yeah. Play more aggressive, and that's what we're seeing out of G2 so far. Now, they haven't been committing towards this control over hookah, but this time around, it looks like they want to go right back to what they were doing a couple rounds back. Go right in here. Juna very nearly hitting that shot. The moving inaccuracy screwing him over a little bit on that. And the TP is being heard. They know now that there's a decent amount of players towards this side of the map, although I doubt they suspect it's 4.
Again, we're seeing a lot of very heavy rotations at this point from Anubis. I feel like they almost have to. They've actually put in the poison orb onto the rotation from the teleporter, so if anybody try and comes out there, they can't even see anything as they make it through. And the rest of the players are now rotating back into A. The showstopper being used to try and clear out some of these closer angles, and
good kill by Frost. Yeah, I mean, he very nearly stopped Nuki from even shooting off in the first place. Shalabi taking down Kellogg's through, like can only say, is about 3 inches of concrete. Impressive stuff. But there's the TP. G2 moving to the other side of the map, but guess who's still here? Mixwell lurking around, trying to make this play through A. Timing is going to be key. Oh, they're going back to A! They're going back to A, Tom! And it's because Mixwell's got all that space completely for free. Anubis already on the B site, but they have no idea that they've just been played. As they start to come back, realizing what's gone down, it's going to be too late to even stop that spike from being planted.
Kingdom in heaven! Oh, the utility so perfect from G2. Oh, I'm enjoying this so much. The screen blocks them from rotating. The dart scans the player in heaven. They have all the information they could possibly need, and the ding is even connected. But mixwell is still standing. Tuna needs a kill, and his teammate's just too far away. This round from G2 was gorgeous. It didn't go to plan initially, but the way they adapt, the way they play the rotations, they are looking world class.
You remember we said, what do we love about mixwell and the Viper on this map, man? It's all about those lurks, and it has been solid so far. His performance definitely not leaving us wanting, and bar that one round Anubis found on a mix buy, they have found
we have round breakdowns?
No success.
If we have round breakdowns, I want to see Ryan break that down, because that was sick.
Yeah.
And Ryan would do it justice.
Go on, Ryan.
Big Ryan.
Jump on the telestrator, my man. You know he wants to. He loves a bit of telly.
He does love it. He loves it. Like, he's probably nerding out right now, ripping the few extra bits of hairs out just because we've put it on him in the last few seconds. Yeah. But, you know, the bolder the better, that's what I say.
The bolder the better. There we go.
The classic saying.
Oh, everyone said, do you reckon it suits Sue?
Of course.
Off. Yeah.
Sue can pull off anything.
That is true.
I feel like...
I don't know what I'd do, though, because, like, Sue has, like, 30 different hairstyles. I don't know how she does it, but she pulls all of them off.
That is true, whereas I have one and I don't even pull that off. Anyway.
You have a head style, not a hairstyle.
Avez has at least kicked things off. Now I'm going to see...
Whoops. Well, that's sped up pretty quickly. Fast rotations. Evidently something that Anubis are a fan of. They're managing to take over the A site, and by the looks of it, get the spike down, but Nukia's hot on their heels, starting to come up behind. Frost still delivering shot after shot. Nukia dealt with, and Kellogg's is all alone. 1v2, that Viper's wall coming down, and now they've spotted him. They know exactly where he is, and the double peek to close it out, well handled by Anubis, and a necessary pistol round. If they lose that for route, which is the least G2 thing that I've ever seen. They're going to try to make it happen with a couple of pistols, and this is where Anubis should just dominate them.
Yeah, build up a few ultimate orbs. Preferably don't lose too many weapons along the way, because in that next round we're going to have a big buy coming up, and realistically that could end the game. Like, if it gets to a point normally where we talk about bonus rounds, like, yeah, if you get a couple of kills, it's great. In this case, it's not. Like, they almost have to win it just to be in the match.
Good trade by Avova, considering the man has got a classic. Now he's ready to go. Smoke's already out. Basically turning into a duelist at this point. Let's see what he can get done. Nothing. Shut down immediately. Good push out of Anubis. Not going to lose too much space on that. It's a 4v2, and they get back towards the site. And the plan is perfect for them as well, holding on to this elbow control. This is really well thought out. Nukia in a lot of trouble here. And somehow manages to get away with one, even whilst vulnerable versus SMGs. One more kill for G2, and this is perfect. It's not going to happen, though.
Yeah, it's still enough damage, realistically, though.
Nasty, nasty man. Let's see what he's going to be able to do with this. That Viper wall up just in time. They're going to walk on through it. It's so easy with the judge this close. And a player trapped. Shalabi's going to be taken down right away. This is a disaster as Mixwell maintains control, gets an upgrade, and watch the wall go down. He's ready to take a fight right after. But and there it is. Avez gone, dropped. This is a judge out of Mixwell. 3 kills and a double sheriff to close it out. Ridiculous stuff as it goes 12-4 and Anubis. And really, really in a tough spot right now.
Yeah, I have to say, the fact that there was ever a composition on this map for G2 that didn't have Mixwell playing Viper might be one of the worst decisions ever made. Because, like, when we first saw him, like, all the way back when this team came back with the new roster against Fnatic, he was amazing. He then went over to the Sky for a bit. Definitely wasn't bad. But now moving back to the Viper, he again looks amazing. And it's just the way he plays around the screen. Like, I was sat there just looking at that screen, just like, he's going to do something ratty with this. And I'm going to love it and hate it at the same time.
Well, of course. And look, there we go. Straight away, the trade's in for Avez, but Avova, I don't know. He's hit Frost to 10 HP as well.
Whole clip.
Absolutely ridiculous. Flash out of Avez. He's continuing the push, but the counter flash for Kellogg's is too strong. And now Anubis have practically nothing left to work with. 10 HP on Frost. It's all on Krollo, and he really hasn't had the best of games so far. This is looking like a clean first map for G2.
It's been solid. They're not the sort of team that would throw this sort of round away either. You can see Kellogg's maybe wanting to be a little bit more cheeky, but with no flashes available to him, there's not really a risk to be taken. They do also have the dart available to hunt for information, but with nuclear elevated, it really isn't much of a problem. The Viper left to try and fight it alone.